Hey, Alex, I wanted to ask you just how much did that opening Kansas drive really set the tone in terms of ball control and what they were trying to do? And how frustrating was it just to not get off the field on third downs today?
Yeah, I think it kind of became a theme, specifically in that first half. The inability to, stop or get stops in the run game, and that just eats away at some yardage and creates some situations in second and then medium, second and short, and then add penalties to that. Undisciplined football in the front, and all of a sudden, whether you're handing the first down away or again, shortening the distance with multiple downs still yet to go to convert. And so really disappointed in, not stopping the run there specifically early, although I don't know that we got a whole lot better as the day went. Obviously, you got to give the opponent credit. But we got to make sure that, in those third down situations, when you have the opportunity and in a lot of ways, you're buying more snaps, clearly buying more snaps after those conversions, and they make a play and we don't. And there's a theme there. There's a theme there forming over the last few weeks. The opponent makes plays, we make plays, and then at some point there's a jockeying back and forth who makes the most on the given day. And we're just not making enough plays defensively. And specifically on third down, then you're just asking for long drives and you're asking for momentum. And it was very, very, very difficult for us to turn the tide momentum wise.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, Alex, you just talked about the inability to stop the run there early. How disappointing is that to you at this point in the season to feel that, especially with what this defensive line especially entered the season is being thought of? And did you get the sense throughout this week, whether it's in practice or even before the game today, that I don't know if I want to say flat, but this defense wasn't where you wanted it to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, as I said, there's a theme forming over the last few weeks is an inconsistent unit. And so, whose fault's that? It's all of ours, obviously, specifically me. It does come down to practice. That's where you attack those issues. It comes down to the plan, making sure from a coaching staff standpoint that you're asking to do the things that put them in a situation that can be most successful. It's also having an awareness of every extra hat you put in the box. It limits you from a coverage standpoint, and making sure that we're taking care of some young DBs. And so that's kind of the some of the issues that you're faced with defensively. And what in the end, what we need to do is we got to find ways to make more plays, and maybe guilty a little bit as a play caller and trying to call some things to initiate that play and maybe that is the inappropriate thing to do, but trying somehow, some way to get that TFL that we've been so known for, as one of the better defenses against the run really over the last year or so. To see where we find ourselves today is extremely disappointing, and we all got to take responsibility for it.
Alex, I'm wondering if Lincoln talked on Tuesday about giving the team Monday off from practice, kind of taking mental reps and going through meetings and stuff. I'm wondering if that kind of disruption from the routine and the regimented schedule that you guys have might have had something to do with the way the game started for you.
No, it's a question you got to ask yourself. And anytime you do anything different on a game week, you and maybe don't get the ultimately got the result that we wanted, but didn't play the standard in which we expect ourselves to. You go back and say, okay, what didn't work over the week of preparation. I don't know. I think when you play, you're in the 8th straight ball game. You're trying to take advantage of the mental aspect of things and trying to gear back a little bit from the physical standpoint to get guys quote unquote to the dance. And making sure guys are healthy as we go through this thing. Obviously, there's a huge responsibility on everybody's part. And then, okay, that means Tuesday and Wednesday in particular are critical for us from a preparation standpoint. I think it's hard to dial back to I certainly dial back to preparation, and I've said this before, you either believe in preparation or you don't. We got to do a better job as coaches with that, getting a better week of prep, making sure that the plan is geared towards the success come Saturday. And in some ways, I kind of go back to, are we doing too much in the way of the one-time plays? Are we spending enough time on the bread and butter of the opponent? Are we spending too much time maybe on the some of the oddities? I think, maybe if I had to kind of look at myself in the mirror, I think our preparation as a coaching staff needs to be geared towards more the not the problem plays, but specifically to what the team does the most and the best.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Hey, Alex, I was just wondering on Key Lawrence's forced fumble in the fourth quarter. It seems like he was really trying to force that and then, got it. Was that something that you mentioned to the team before that drive to try to force a fumble or get a play like that? Or was that just a play made by him? And is that kind of the example of playmaking you're looking for from your defense?
Well, and that's just it. Why aren't we seeing that more? I think as opposed to saying, credit goes to us for making that comment. We constantly make that. No one talks about it more. We got to do, maybe less talking and more actual doing. But where are those snaps? Where are those gang tackles with guys stripping at the football? What are we doing wrong as a coaching staff to not convince guys of the impact of those plays? Because we keep seeing the impact once we do that. Why is that not happening more? And maybe the second guy to the pile might be the first guy, but just all the way down to the ground, just dying for that football and the impact. You want to get off the field, make a play. In the end, that's where you're just going to hope that the opponent messes up. And so thrilled with, Key stepped up. If I think about the guys that have stepped up over recent weeks, that list is very short, which means we got to do a better job of preparing the guys. But he'd be one of the guys at the top, has just stepped up in his role as we've had some guys out in the secondary and made a huge play in that game today. And we need to make more of them.